So, good day everyone. My name is Ezekiel Yu Pasol, together with my co-presenter, Dariel Bral Berlan Corcuera. And we are from Chem 1A, and we are here to present to you the community-based project proposal. But first, we are here to discuss to you what is project proposal. Next slide, please. So what is project planning or project proposal? As per definition, project planning is the process of defining the objectives, scope, tasks, timelines, and resources required for the successful completion of the project. It involves creating a detailed blueprint that guides the project team from the initial idea or concept through the conclusion of the project. So, ang project planning daw ay isang proseso ng pagpaplano or pag-identify ng objectives ng isang plano or ng isang project. And also sa project planning, ito yung flow natin kung paano natin ni-execute yung isang project. And syempre, dito natin ma-identify kung kailan or paano natin gagawin yung isang project, kung ano yung mga kailangan nating resources, and also kung ano yung mga risk na pwede nating ma-encounter during the project. And syempre, dito din natin naalamin kung sino ba yung mga magbe-benefit or sino ba yung mga sakop ng ating project. And yun. Next slide, please. So bakit nga ba natin ginagawa ang project planning? So what is the importance of this project planning? So sabi ni Shena Roberts, 2023, project planning reduces uncertainties, maximizes the efficient allocation of resources, and guarantees that teams are in aligned with the project's objectives. So dito, sabi ni Shena Roberts, ang project planning daw ay nakaka-reduce ng uncertainties. Tsaka-reduce siya ng mga risk na pwede nating ma-encounters. Kasi during project planning pa lang, naiisip na natin kung ano yung mga pros and cons ng ating gagawing project. And also, it maximizes the efficient allocation of resources. Dito natin mas mababudget natin yung mga resources na kailangan natin during the project. And syempre, sa project planning, malalaman natin kung nasusunod ba yung flow na dapat na masunod during the project. And next, sabi naman ni David Miller, 2023, when you plan your project well, you can manage project risk. So parang katulad din ng kay Shena Roberts. Kasi sa project planning, makikita na agad natin yung mga risk na pwede nating ma-encounter pag na-execute na tayo ng project. And also, create attainable goals, define a clear workflow, assign roles and duties, define tasks, priorities, and dependencies, properly monitor project progress, and facilitate seamless communication among team members. So, sabi naman, ang overall lang sinabi ni David Miller ay kapag pinalano mo ng maayos yung project nyo, makikita mo kung ano yung mga pwede mong ma-encounter at pwede mong hindi ma-encounter. And yan. And syempre, mas mapafollow natin yung flow na dapat na ma-follow nung project. Next slide, please.
We entitled our project Community Empowerment Initiative, a holistic approach to environmental preservation, career development, and charitable outreach, with our project objective stating that it aims to create a resilient, inclusive community where individuals are empowered to protect the environment, pursue meaningful careers, and support each other through acts of kindness. It integrates environmental preservation, career development, and charitable outreach to enhance the envi- community environment, equip individuals with professional skills, and cultivate a culture of compassion, solidarity, and generosity. For our duration, it runs through the first quarter of the year 2024, ideally po from January 2024 to April 2024. And our planned activities are number one, navigating futures, a youth guide to career planning. Number two, promoting environmental sustainability, unity for a cleaner community. And lastly, thrive through generosity, empowering community through donation drive.
Thank you. And for our first activity, which is entitled Navigating Futures, a Youth Guide to Career Planning. So ano ba tong project na to? Next slide, please. So this project has the following objective. So what is Project Navigating Futures muna, syempre. So Project Navigating Futures, a youth guide to career planning, is a career planning seminar that aims to empower individuals with the knowledge, skills, and resources needed to make informed decisions about their future careers. So dito sa project na to, we tend to inform and encourage the youth para planuhin yung mga future careers nila, para planuhin kung ano yung mga path na pwede nilang tahakin pagdating sa future nila. And the objectives of this project are the following. So, 1, help youth explore and understand their interests, strengths, values, and personal preferences to gain self-awareness. So, syempre, isa sa objectives ng ating career planning ay para tulungan yung mga youth natin na maintindihan kung ano ba talaga yung gusto nila. And kung ano ba yung mga pwede nilang tahakin na path na connected dun sa personal interest nila. And also, we encourage them to choose the career para sa future nila na aligned dun sa strength and interest nila. At alam nila na magugustuhan talaga nila and mag-enjoy sila. Kasi we don't tend to encourage them to take the path na hindi nila gusto and hindi nila mas ma-enjoy yung buhay. And next is increase awareness of different career options and industries, providing insights into the variety of opportunities available. Siyempre, alam naman natin na every youth ay iba't iba ang gusto. So, this career planning will help them, and syempre yung mga speakers, itutulungan sila na maintindihan kung ano talagang gusto nila. And ma-inform sila na dahil nga iba't iba yung gusto nila, meron ding iba't ibang opportunities na available sa industries, pwede ding sa government, yeah. And that. And also, lastly, encourage young people to set practical and reachable career goals, considering their dreams and the necessary steps to achieve them. Siyempre, hindi naman pare-parehas ng life status ng isa't isa, so we also encourage them to be practical when it comes to life. Diba? And yun. And this career planning project will have the following materials. First is syempre, yung pinakamahalaga, the invited speaker. The invited speaker is the one who will write and deliver informative and engaging speeches to live audience. So, syempre, invited speaker natin ay yung mga may life accomplishments. And syempre, yung mga na-experience, yung mga bagay na hindi pa na-experience syempre ng mga youth natin. And syempre, we will invite a speaker who master public speaking, syempre. And yun. Also, this career planning project will need a sound system. Syempre, yung mga physical na resources natin na kailangan. And syempre, yung projector and screen for the slides. And syempre, yung food na nag-include ng snacks and beverages natin para sa ating audiences, which are the youth. And yeah. And this will be the procedures for initiating, for execution, and for the closing of our project. Since first is the initiation and the planning. So here we identify a cause, items to gather, and youngsters who are willing to participate. Next is define specific goals, objectives, importance, and benefits for the project. Siyempre, bago natin ipaliwanag din sa mga participants natin kung ano ba yung objective ng ating project, siyempre ipapalalag mo natin sa mga staffs natin or dun sa napili nating lugar na pagdadausan ng project natin. And next is create a registration process to draw attendees to your seminar. And also, plan the location, timeline, and schedule for the project implementation. And for number 2 is the execution and monitoring and management. And dito, we promote the said activity through online platforms and by distributing posters to gather information. Siyempre, we utilize the makabagong teknolohiya, di ba? Kasi di ba dun mas active yung mga youth. Siyempre, we will use that para ma-distribute yung information about our said seminar. So yeah, and also create an outreach strategy to attract attendees to your seminar. And lastly, I prepare for the seminar presentation and speak professionally. Yeah, and for our number 3, the closing and the feedback. So dito, we document the donation drive with photos and reports. Next is conduct surveys to measure the seminar's performance and effectiveness among the participants. Lastly is to develop a strong post-seminar follow-up strategy. So those are the procedures. And lastly, next slide please. Our assessment criteria. So our assessment criteria, we divided it into two components. These two components should be observed during the project. And these are the youth empowerment and the setting practical career. So sa youth empowerment, we explore diverse career options aligned with individual preferences. Next is encourage them to enhance their skills relevant to chosen career paths. And also, we enhance decision-making abilities related to their career choices. Next is setting practical career goals. The seminar aids in exploring possibilities, comparing career options, and assisting youngsters in establishing long-term goal objectives. And lastly, helps youngsters to come up with effective action plan, allowing them to become better individuals in society. And that's for our first activity.
For our second project, it is named Promoting Environmental Sustainability, Unity for a Cleaner Community. For our project objectives is it aims to foster a sense of unity and collective responsibility among community members toward achieving a cleaner and more sustainable environment. And for our objectives po is number 1, raise awareness about the importance of environmental sustainability and waste within the community. Hindi po natin may pagkakaila na napapabayaan po natin ang ating mga komunidad, kaya po ito ay nagiging polluted at nagiging marumi. At um, tayo po ang responsible para po ito po ay maging malinis sapagkat tayo rin po ang magbe-benefit sa isang safe and healthy na environment. And number 2, engage community members in collaborative efforts to address environmental challenges and promote cleaner living. Number 3, implement practical initiatives to reduce waste, conserve resources, and enhance the overall cleanliness of the community. And number 4, organize cleanup drives in the community to remove litter and debris. Hindi lang po sapat na nilinis po natin ang ating kapaligiran through cleanup drives, kundi mahalaga rin po na magkaroon po tayo ng mga follow-up projects na patuloy pong magsasustain sa isa pong malinis na environment sapagkat tayo nga po ang nagbe-benefit dito at ang makukuha po natin dito ay boost of productivity, disease prevention, and lessening the levels of pollution po sa ating kapaligiran. And lastly po, monitor and evaluate the effectiveness of initiatives through data collection, feedback mechanisms, and periodic assessments to ensure continuous improvement toward promoting environmental sustainability and unity within the community, kung saan po ay i-assess po natin ang general public kung naging effective nga po ba ang ginawang project po sa ating kapaligiran. And for our materials needed po is number 1, educational materials such as posters, brochures, and pamphlets about environmental sustainability and waste reduction. Number 2, cleaning supplies. Trash bags, gloves, recycle bins, litter pickers, brooms, and dustpans po are such examples po ng ating kinakailangan na cleaning supplies. And lastly po ay monitoring materials such as survey questionnaires and documenting devices kung saan po natin ito gagamitin para po ma-assess ang general public. For our procedures po is number 1, the planning phase. Dito po ay we will form a project team consisting of volunteers such as us po na involved po sa CWATS and the community council to discuss the project. Then after po nun is that we will define specific goals, objectives, importance, and benefits for the project, secure necessary materials and resources, and lastly po is plan the timeline and schedule for the project implementation. And after po ng planning phase ay ang ating community awareness campaign, kung saan po na we will develop and distribute education, educational materials po such as posters and brochures about the environmental sustainability, highlighting the importance of waste reduction, recycling, and conservation. And as well as organizing informational sessions in community centers, schools, and local gatherings to raise awareness about environmental issues and inspire action. Number 3, community cleanup events. Ito na po is kung saan isasagawa na po natin yung project. Number 1 po is organize cleanup drives in collaboration with the community council, provide volunteers with necessary cleaning supplies such as trash bags, gloves, and recycle bins, and designate specific areas for cleanup efforts. Collect and properly dispose of litter and debris while separating recyclable materials for proper recycling. And lastly po is monitoring and feedback, which we will document the cleanup drives through pictures and reports and conduct surveys and assessment to monitor the improvement through feedback from the locals po. And that and ayun po. We divided our assessment criteria into 2 bases po, such as community engagement and cleanliness and environmental impact. For the community engagement, the following should be observed. Number 1, number of participants attending awareness sessions, level of community involvement in planning and participating in cleanup events, and feedback from community members regarding the effectiveness of the awareness campaign in raising environmental consciousness. On the other hand po, for the cleanliness and environmental impact, the following should also be observed. Amount of litter and debris collected during cleanup events, visible improvements in the cleanliness and tidiness of targeted areas within the community, reduction in instances of illegal dumping and littering following the implementation of the project, reduction in waste generation, and increase in recycling rates within the community, and evaluate the sustainability of the project by continuous monitoring of the improvements and its lasting impacts. So, ayun po for our second project. And for our last project po is Thrive Through Generosity, Empowering Community Through Donation Drive. For our project objectives po, Project Thrive Through Generosity, Empowering Community Through Donation Drive is a community-based project that strives to donate school supplies to children whose socio-economic status cannot meet the necessary materials needed for schools. And the project's objectives are as follows. Number 1, to assist children's education by providing them with the materials they need to use and excels in their studies through voluntary donations. To involve educators such as teachers in the stated drive to give students comfort and convenience in their studies. And lastly po is to improve educational achievements, minimize financial burdens, increase school attendance, foster communities, and promote volunteerism and civic engagement. Hindi po natin may pagkakailan na edukasyon ng ating tanging kayamanan na walang sino man ang makapagnanakaw. Subalit, maraming kabataan po ang walang pribilehiyo upang makapag-aral. Paano po nating masasabi na kabataan ang pag-asa ng kabataan kung ang karamihan po dito ay hindi nakakapag-aral at kulang po sa mga kagamitan upang pong makapasok po sa paaralan. Kaya po sa proyekto po na ito ay magbibigay po tayo ng mga materials such as backpack, notebook, pad paper, pencils, eraser, scissors, and art supplies bilang donation po sa ating general public para po ang mga kabataan po na sabihin po natin na nasa lower bracket po ng ating pong society ay makapag-aral at magkaroon po ng kontribusyon sa ating pong society. And for our project procedures po is number 1, initiation and planning. Dito po is that we will identify a cause, items to gather, resources to secure, and individuals who are willing to participate. And after po nun, we will define specific goals, objectives, importance, and benefits for the project, and plan the location, timeline, and schedule for the project implementation. And number 2, execution and monitoring and management. In here po, we will promote the said activity through online platforms and by distributing posters to gather attention. Kung mapapansin po natin, dito po ay nahati po sa dalawa ang ating pagpo-promote, which is first po online platforms such as po social media, since mas involved na po ang tao ngayon po nowadays sa social media. And doon po para po sa mga hindi po masyado pong preoccupied ng social media ay by distributing posters po. And after po nun is that we will organize the flow of the donation drive in the community for a smooth execution. And lastly po, we will host the drive and ensure that the project is going according to plan. And lastly for closing and feedbacks, just like po nung mga first and second na project is that we will document the donation drive with photos and reports, and we will conduct surveys and assessment to assess the donation drive based on the local feedback and improve future activities kung saan po natin i-assess ang ating general public kung naging effective nga po ba ang ating ginawang donation drive. We divided our assessment criteria into 2 bases po ulit, which is first, beneficiaries, and second po is the volunteerism and civic engagement. For our beneficiaries po, this is po intended para po sa ating mga kabataan na kulang po ang pribilehyo upang makapag-aral. And the following should be observed. Number 1, the school supply donation drive helps students to learn to think imaginatively, foster creativity and problem-solving skills, and boost their self-esteem. And lastly, giving students the appropriate school supplies encourage them to actively participate in the learning process and gain confidence in their talents. On the other hand po is the volunteerism and civic engagement, which is intended po sa general public and para po sa mga nakilahok. And it should follow and yun nga po, it should follow and observe the following. Number 1, aids in changing the lives of students in the community as a civic duty, allows participants to connect and improve the quality of their community, and lastly po, create a more informed public with the ability to make significant contributions and express their level of support for certain initiatives. That is all for our third project, and the conclusion po will be discussed by Ezekiel Pasol. Ezekiel, you may take the spot.
So thank you, Brad. And for our conclusion, syempre, to conclude all the said activities and discussed definition of the project planning, we conclude that overall, project planning is the foundation upon which successful projects are built. So kakasabi nga lang natin kanina na ang project planning ay isang flow or isang blueprint ng isang project kung saan dito natin makikita kung ano yung mga risk na pwede nating ma-encounter, yung mga materials na kailangan natin when it comes to executing a project. Also, it brings clarity, structure, and organization to the entire project life cycle, ensuring that goals are met efficiently and effectively. And also, the following projects are planned systematically with the proper flow and method and are methodologically planned. In particular, these projects will inspire young people like us to take a more active role in the community and speak up for our future. So lahat ng projects na nasabi ay sumunod sa tamang sa kung ano ba yung dapat na laman ng isang project planning. From the materials, from the objectives, and from the procedures itself. Sumunod, lahat yun ay laman ng isang project planning. And all objectives, materials, and procedures are outlined in a clear and concise manner, following the format recommended for project planning. And that's all for this community-based project planning. And thank you for listening.